What do you think about wages in America? You think wages are going to be going down?
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I do. Yeah. I think, and look, I'm an employer, right? And, and not to, certainly we don't want to alarm our employees, right? And tell them, hey, look, we're going to take money out of your pockets. We're not intending on doing that. But I think there's a bigger picture, right? And this has been happening. This was going on prior to the pandemic. Now, I've done some commercial real estate, and we saw what was happening prior to the pandemic was what was going up for employers, employee costs, insurance, right? Mandatory time off, maternity, paternity leave.
All these different
things, right? That the employer, depending on the size of the employer, bumps them into categories that becomes very costly. And a lot of these, and I'm not trying to point fingers or whatever, and I'm not judging anybody, but it just makes common sense that employers are thinking of ways to reduce their costs so they can make more profit.
Yeah. They want to stay in business.
They have to make profit, right? And with other costs going up and things like that. So a lot of people don't realize that an employee, for some businesses, are one of the largest expenses on their profits and P&L, right? Profit and loss. So what I think is happening is with the amount of automation, I mean, probably 30% or maybe even 70% of the technologies that we'll use in 5 years haven't even been created yet.
Yeah.
We've got AI coming on, which is scary.
Yeah.
In many ways.
How AI is advancing at the rate it is. And I personally think that they're just showing us the tip of the iceberg.
John,
below that tip,
freaky,
it's like,
it's
they're
freaky.
only giving us a little bit at a time.
Yeah. But what happened was prior to the pandemic, so what was happening was people were trying to reduce the size of their office, the size of their cost, their employees. They were looking to hire independent contractors instead of hiring employees. And I think that's going to jack up. That demand's going to be high. So if you're listening and you want to start your side hustle, it's a good idea. But I think what is going on now is that because of the pandemic, people were overpaying because they needed people, because it was a mad rush for business and they didn't have employees. There wasn't any employees, right? I mean, yeah, I think the unemployment rate is kind of jacked up in itself, and I don't pay much attention to what I'm told the unemployment rate really is or not.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is it's hard to get good employees. So when people were rocking busy, in order for them to make all the money they could, they had to pay somebody whatever they needed to pay to get them on. But now when that's a vacuum effect and starts to shut down because the economy's slowing down, they're going to be looking at these people going, man, I gave you a bonus to get you. You're not really performing the way I want you to.
And when I look on Indeed, I find 1,000 other applications that will work for 20% less.
Oh, yeah. So we'd be foolish to think that wages couldn't adjust and come down. It would be nonsense to think otherwise.
So would you say it's far-fetched to believe that if inflation is going up and wages are going down, and we have $17 trillion in consumer debt, that we're going to likely be walking into a situation where we're going to start to see a lot more defaults?
I think so.
That's what I'm betting on.
I think so. We see it it's cyclical. So I think that people, and here's my frustration, man. And I took some heat on this in a video that I did not too long ago, where I was talking about this college debt forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I mean, and look, gosh, I understand. I mean, I got comments like, well, you're not for the single mom or the this or that. And that's not true. That's bunk, right? I'm about as fair and as practical as it gets. But I also believe that we make mistakes and the consequences for our mistakes, we have to pay for them. So, I don't agree with the amount of college costs right now. I don't agree with the pressure that everybody feels like they have to get a college education. I believe we should cut that short. Half the courses that they take are crap. They're not teaching them what they need to. They're extracting as much money as they can. This is big business college, right? But at the same point in time, somebody's got to tell these people that, hey, you're signing up for something and you're going to have to pay for it later.
Yeah.
And back in the day, not that long ago, you could turn the keys into your automobile and it'd still not be as bad as you defaulting on your college debt. To a creditor, that looked worse than giving the car back to the bank, because the way they looked at it is, man, you're not paying for your education.
Yeah.
So many of these young people are going to college. They're switching their major 2 and 3 times. I'm not knocking on them. I'm just talking facts. And we put so much pressure on these kids at high school. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You're in a 7th grade. You look like you could be an engineer. Do you want to be an engineer? Like, dude, I'm in 7th grade. I'm 13.
Yeah.
What the hell's the matter with society?
Yeah.
We're pressuring these kids it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 'cause trying to sell them on a $100,000, $200,000 loan at 18, 19. Yeah, sign here. This is where you'll make the most money. You'll do the best. You'll do this. You'll do that. But now a lot of those degrees in the next 10 years are going to be worthless. Even 5 years. We're going to start seeing a lot of them fade away.